Yo, what up, man? Chris, somebody checking back in, man. Back with the blog, man. Make sure that like button, subscribe button, Wayne. I appreciate all the support. What's going on, man, with y'all? Hope you guys just having a good weekend. A lot to talk about, man, with the blog I did yesterday. It opened up a big-ass Pandora's box. You know what I'm saying? I kind of, sometimes a blog can be a domino effect, man. So I do the blog about TBL and URL trying to stop the Twork and Ave battle, and it was already brewing behind the scenes. I just kind of like talked about it, and then it just, bloggers jumped on it, and then the spaces jumped on it, and all this kind of stuff. So we talk about stuff. I try to be pretty honest with the things that I report on. So obviously URL was trying to stop the battle, so I didn't put anything out there that wasn't actually what was trying to occur. There's been a lot of development since then. Av went into space today, and Beasley responded. You know what I'm saying? He had a lot to say, and sometimes it's kind of good that stuff is in the forefront because we can get some type of clarity or whatever. A lot of times these people don't communicate well behind the scenes, and sometimes this kind of stuff you be forced to address it. And I don't really have no picks. I like URL. I give URL a lot of credit, man. You know what I'm saying? I praise them when it's time to praise them. I critique them when it's time to critique them. I try to help them when it's time to help them. I don't have a problem with the gnome card. I like matchups sometimes over names. I don't be caring about certain battles and stuff, because another thing I realized too, a lot of y'all get caught up in like the names on the card. But what I realized is sometimes in order to make these battles happen, you'll see a battle like, even like a Calico and Rum Nitty. I don't know the details of Calico and Rum Nitty, so I'm just speaking. But sometimes they'll take a battle like that and they'll shorten the rounds. You know what I'm saying? We used to look at that a little bit with RBE when they were doing the full circle. They'll do like Rosenberg, Raw, and Arsenal, and then they might shorten the rounds. Certain battles, I'm cool with the rounds being short. If it's like Rex or somebody like that, I'm cool. I kind of like battles being 3 minutes to 3.5 minutes. I kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like 50-minute and hour-long battles, but I like a good 30 to 35-minute battle. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But some of these battles are like 18 minutes, and because the rounds are short. So I don't feel every battle that's necessarily the best thing to do. But sometimes in order for a league to be able to afford a battle, they just shorten the rounds. So at the same time, it's not all, I'm sometimes the matchup is better than me more than the names. So, because, they sometimes change the format in order to make the battle happen. So I don't have a problem with Gnome. I'm very much anticipating Chess versus Eunice, and I kind of want to see what that battle pans out to be, a little Danielson versus Miyagi kind of thing, and I kind of want to see how that battle goes. But we had a space today. Av went into the space. He had a lot to say. He basically was saying that he had been paid for the Ave and Twork battle. You know, the Ave and Twork battle was booked in 2019, and I think there was a few reasons why the battle didn't go down multiple times. So one time Twork's car got shot up. Another time, I don't know if he got arrested or there was something going on with his family or something. So there was a couple times the battle didn't happen. Av said both times he got his deposit and his back end. So he showed up and got his deposit. Twork didn't show or couldn't do the battle. He got his back end. Then it was rescheduled. He got another deposit, and then Twork didn't do the battle and another back end. So it seems like if that's the case, it would kind of close the battle out. I would think that, because URL could have just done something where they gave Av a deposit, and when Twork didn't do the battle, they could just push the battle to the next card. But they gave him his back end, and then when the battle got rescheduled, they gave him another deposit. So to me, I would assume that the battle is closed out. You done gave me 2 deposits and 2 back ends. So okay, I guess the next time it's booked again, you'll give me another deposit. So I would, if I'm Av, I would assume that until I get another deposit for Twork, there is no more Twork battle. That's what I would assume, me personally. So he was just basically saying that was the case. He was saying URL ain't been rocking with him and all this kind of stuff, and there's always been a little bit of issues or whatever. And obviously we know there's some people that he wanted to get that he did not get. He wanted to battle Hollow the Dawn, he wanted to battle Av, stuff like that. He did not get those battles. So that was Av's side of the space. Then you had Hitman is in a space, and the reason why Hitman is in there, him and Mook is headlining, and everything that affects the TBL card ultimately affects him too. He's the main event. Maybe they have a pay-per-view deal. Maybe they got a lot of stuff going on, and who else is on the card affects the pay-per-view. So that's why Hitman is invested in it. Okay, so that's that side. Beasley comes into the space, basically saying that they paid for the battle. It's their battle, and everybody has gotten money for the battle, but they never actually did the battle. So he was like, they spoke to TBL. They were trying to say TBL didn't really have a problem with it or anything like that. They were pretty much cool. And I don't. Well, let me just say, before I get to that, and that TBL isn't openly complaining about that situation, and that he had spoke to Ave recently, and as like last night or something, through text message, and telling Ave that they're still trying to do the battle. They might try to do the battle on Summer Madness and stuff. I heard that they was actually still trying to put the battle on Gnome, but give them like 2 weeks to write or whatever, and they declined. So maybe they'll be on Summer Madness and stuff like that. So he also was saying, hold on.
These leading interviews and these weird questions. Well, don't you think, like, as men, they should have just allowed you to do your thing? Don't you think as men, you should just say, yo, we had business and I got paid for that battle? That's what's being real about. You know what I mean? These guys getting on here acting, playing victim like they can't get no money with us. They always get money with us. But we got to do the right thing. We can't just stick to the script when things are plentiful. You know what I'm saying? When I big bags and I give them out, you can't just say that's the only time that we're cool. You got to always respect the contracts. When you take money, we don't, like as Smack said, we don't block battles. We enforce contracts that we have this tumultuous relationship.
Okay, so Beasley talks really well, and if you didn't know him, he would be very convincing. You know what I'm saying? He spoke really well in this. He had a lot to say. And I see people hitting me up like, oh, he killed Ave, he did this or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? URL is in the right, all this kind of stuff. I like URL. I also know their history. I'm the mayor of Fair, and like I said, I give them credit when it's credit, and I critique them when it's time to critique them. A lot of stuff, I ain't gonna say a lot of stuff. Some things Beasley said I don't agree with at all. It is true that they do enforce contracts. I don't have a problem with them enforcing contracts. If a nigga want to sign a contract and want to do another battle and they want to enforce it and block it, that's cool. I had no problem with them trying to tell Easy he couldn't do the Hitman battle. He signed a 5-year deal with URL. If you didn't want to, if they want to try to block the battle, I don't have a problem with it. He signed a contract. I never had a problem with that situation. However, URL still does some shady stuff to kind of stop cards, and I wish Angry Fan would have pressed Beasley on that, and I don't think he's being honest with that. Like, obviously we know, I just give you 2 situations. We kind of know about when Easy was trying to do his card, the first trenches, Danny Myers was on that card, and they pulled Danny Myers off the card. Danny Myers had, in the interview, he said that he was not under contract, and that URL was basically threatening not to work with him anymore, and also threatening to pull him from the 2-on-2. Remember, he had a 2-on-2 coming up with him and Hustle versus Jerry West and Lou Castro. They were going to pull him off the card, basically take all the stuff that they had gave him or was coming up to give him if he continued to doing that card. Now, is that a block? Yeah, it's like a reverse block. It's like, okay, you're under contract, or someone gave you a contract, you signed it, somebody gave you a deposit, so you're under contract. We're going to come to you and we're basically going to say, we don't want you to do this. Either we'll give you more money, or we'll threaten to take you off this, or we'll threaten to take this away from you. And if we give you money, we're giving you more money to not do this. So what that is called torturous interference. You cannot do that in business. You know what I'm saying? Torturous interference. You cannot do that. URL has done that a lot. If you go to Shotgun Suge and Pat Stay, that was a battle that was booked on RBE. That battle never went down on RBE. It went down on like Summer Madness on URL. What ended up happening, Suge got a contract with Pat Stay. Suge got a deposit for Pat Stay. All of a sudden, URL says, you know what? Don't do that battle, do the battle on URL. We'll pay you more money. They then take whatever Suge's deposit was, let's just say it was $3,000. They then give Suge $3,000 to give back to ARP. They offer Suge more money, and they bring that battle to Summer Madness. Now, Suge has to be a participant in order for this to work. Suge marked himself out. He did some lame ass shit. He didn't stand on business. He signed a contract, came up with some weak ass excuse like something going on with his family, and he turned the money back into ARP. And like 8 or 9 months later, that same exact battle showed up on Summer Madness. Now, is that blocking? It ain't technically blocking, and it does require the artist to kind of like fold. So both of them are guilty, but it is torturous interference. Now you may say, well, it's nothing wrong with URL doing that. They just offer more money. It's not URL's fault if the artists take that. Then don't sue other niggas when they do the same thing. One of the reasons they sue RBE is because they had K-Shine versus Daylight. And when RBE booked Daylight versus King Los, they tried to say, oh, ARP offered a bigger battle for Daylight, so he canceled that battle and took the King Los battle. We already had him under contract, and he committed a torturous interference. That's what the lawsuit is about. Don't try to sue for something that you have actually been doing in the past yourself. So I always say repeatedly, if you're going to do something, just own it. So when Beasley sits in an interview and he says, we don't block battles, yeah, you don't technically block them like that, but you just go in a roundabout way and you just try to get people off the card and try to do the battle on URL and try to offer them more money and try to do stuff like this. These are things that they do, you know what I'm saying? And there's numerous battles, bro. Numerous battles. Averb and Iron Solomon supposed to go down on RBE. URL, no, we'll give you Loaded Lux. Don't do that battle. Averb folds. You know, Averb talk all this shit about how he a stand-up nigga, he a St. Louis nigga. They dangled some Loaded Lux money in front of his face, and he fucking folded. So when I be sitting in spaces listening to him talk about Swamp, oh, Swamp came off the easy card and all this kind of stuff. You know, URL just treated you like a hoe. They just pulled you off the card. URL treated you like a hoe, Verb. They dangled a battle in front of you also, and you came off the card. You ain't no different than Swamp. Dangle some money, and you could be fucking bought. I said that in my blog about Verb. I said Verb can be bought, and that's exactly what happened. But what is that? That's another torturous interference. You're offering something bigger for someone who's already under contract. So I did not agree with Beasley in that situation. He also said that they have no bad relationship with Ave. That's another thing that's not true. That's not been what I've been hearing. And if anybody in the company has an issue with Ave, then it's an issue. Like maybe Smack don't got an issue with Ave, but if P got an issue with Ave, then Ave is gonna feel it when it comes to his bookings. Or if Beasley or Chico or anybody got an issue. When Ave took that battle, I said this in my blog. Ave, they tried to book Ave on Kings and Queens, and he wasn't interested in a female battle. And then Remy came along and tried to book him versus Official, and he took the battle. So Ave took a battle after telling URL, I don't want to battle a female. He ended up taking a battle for Official on Chrome, and that was like a competitive situation. Yeah, they were cool with Remy at that time, but Remy started to tiptoe into their battle. First, she booked the female card. Then she come back and she started booking these URL people. It was J2 and it was Twork and it was Ave. And they were like, whoa. you booking niggas that we fucking with, that we signing and we fucking with. So they really didn't want Ave to go to Chrome, in my personal opinion. That's what I think. And I think the fact that he wouldn't battle on Kings and Queens and battled there, they punished him. That's not, you can't prove it, but they punished him. And if you look at the situation, just look at the bookings. Okay, explain to me how Ave can show up for the Twork battle. Twork car gets shot up, battle canceled. Ave can show up for another Twork battle, family thing happen, or Twork go to jail, battle canceled. But who gets rewarded is Twork. Twork goes on to battle Calico in Philadelphia. He goes on to battle Twork. He goes on to battle Surf. He goes on to battle Murder Mook. These are all people he battled. If you look at Ave goes on to battle Don Marino, Chef Trez, True Foe, Woo-Sa. None of these are household names. They're all like Ave. Ave is technically bigger than all of these guys, except Twork. He eventually battled Twork. A little cave on X cave kind of crime. So Ave is like, I'm not getting my shots, but I'm not the reason the Twork battle didn't go. Twork was kind of rewarded despite the fact that he had issues with doing the battle. He still was rewarded with bigger battles. It didn't stop him. So after doing the official battle, which they probably threatened to come off the card with official, but he didn't. He did the battle anyway, and they basically punished him. He said in a space they didn't book him for a year. I don't know how true that is. I don't be studying Ave's career like that, but I don't think he would be saying that if he was getting booked. So sometimes people can say, don't always remember this, bro. You can remember this in relationships and everything. Don't give me crumbs and tell me don't give me crumbs and think you gave me a slice of bread. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Don't give me crumbs and think you gave me a slice of bread. See, Calico, Mook, Twork, Surf, that's a slice of bread. That's what Twork got. Don Marino, Woo-Sa, True Foe, those are all crumbs. Yeah, you're giving me battles. That's why they can sit in a live with Angry Fan and be like, we fuck with Ave. We gave Ave all these battles. Ave been booked and made thousands. You didn't really give him the battles he wanted. That's why he eventually started to take his career into his own hands, because on URL, he felt like he was getting punished. Now, I realize Ave ain't Twork. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that, and he's not the biggest promoter and all this kind of stuff, but he really didn't get some of the battles he wanted. He should have got Ave because it had a viral moment, and that was a good battle for him to do. He should have got Hollow if that's a battle that he wanted. Excuse me, he didn't get those battles. So I don't think Ave is wrong to say URL shelved me for a year, or URL wasn't really fucking with me. I don't like Ave ain't somebody that choke. He ain't somebody that don't show up for battles. He ain't somebody that don't have 3 rounds. So if he says that, I tend to believe that that's true. And because he's getting battles, it can seem like URL still was rocking with him. Giving me Woo-Sa ain't telling me you rocking with me. I'm a card filler, and I'm trying to do a little bit more. So don't give me a crumb and tell me you gave me a slice of bread and then say you're rocking with me. And that's a good lesson for a relationship. You with a girl or a dude or whatever, and they give you a little bit of effort. Don't give me an effort of crumbs and tell me you're giving me a sliced bread. That's not the case. So I do feel like when Ave said they wasn't fucking with him, that's true. Now, let's get to some other news, okay? Apparent URL, it is, in fairness to URL, they probably do still have some type of quote unquote contract on this battle, because Twork has 2 deposits or something like that for this battle, but never did the battle. Like, apparently they paid Ave the front end and the back end. I can't imagine they gave Twork a back end and a nigga didn't show up to the battle. So Twork might have a front end for a battle that with Ave he never did. You know what I'm saying? So that could be the case. So that's why they can try to say legally, like, yo, we booked the battle, we gave a front end, we didn't do the battle. Hey, here's a piece of paper that shows we had this battle booked at one time. TBL, don't fuck with it. I will give you that. But let's be real, Beasley. Let's honestly be real. You cannot book a battle in 2019 or 2020 and then not book it through all the way through 2025 and think you finna hold this piece of paper over my head. Ave isn't even in contract with URL no more. There was a time when y'all signed Ave. When he tried to go battle Big K on RB and stuff, y'all re-signed him to a contract. Y'all gave him all them battles, the Don Marino, Chef Trez's, Wusa. His contract ran out. He's not under contract right now. So you're trying to, he's not under contract, but you're trying to say, hey, we still got this 2019 battle. Like, how long you think you can hold this battle to where he can never battle? You don't want to book the battle. You ain't been trying to book it. Caffeine has been going on for the longest, bro. They was averaging about 24 battles a month on Caffeine. They probably done 200 battles in about a 2-year or 18-month span on Caffeine. None of them battles was Twork and Ave. They were not trying to book the battle. I heard Beasley say, well, that we tried to book the battle like 2 or 3 times and stuff kept messing up. So we just assumed they ain't want to do the battle. That's not true, bro. You ain't just letting niggas hold money and not do the, like, I don't believe that at all. I just believe y'all just wasn't fucking with Ave no more. Or not fucking with him really. So at the end of the day, y'all didn't really care about the battle. And if nobody is checking for you, you're not in a hurry to do the battle. And let's be real, nobody was checking for Ave. Ave life changed when he changed managers. When he changed managers, he got a more outspoken manager who built more relationships, who was cool with Hitman, can get him on back. Ave would have never got on Bags and Bodies without the boss, bro. I don't even believe that at all. So you take that, I was in the space listening to this ABCD nigga, the nigga that booked Ave and Averb, and I'm like, yo, he got a pretty good relationship with the boss. I'm talking about the league owner of that league. I feel like she kind of opened up doors for him as more of a vocal person to speak for him and be like, yo, we trying to get him on this card. What's up? Can we get on this card? Can we go? And that opened up more doors for him. But if you don't feel like he has options, you ain't really worried about it. You ain't really rushing to do nothing. You don't really feel like nobody's gonna ever book that battle. And then another thing, what makes you think that the price you gave me in 2019 is the same price I'm gonna take in 2025? What makes you think that? You know what I'm saying? You trying to put me on Gnome. You trying to take away a YouTube release. I done won number 2 on Cody. My stock then rose. So why you trying to give me, well, you think you gonna book me for the same price you was trying to book me in 2019 and 2020 for this battle? I'm not going for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going for it at all. So I just feel like they were not trying to book the battle. A lot of stuff I was hearing was that URL was basically running out of matchups and stuff. That's why they released the Gnome card in reverse, because they really didn't have some matchups and they were just booking and announcing. So my thing is, you just got to a point where this was one of the last remaining battles. Everybody's booking stuff. Goods and Twork didn't go on. So, you know, Cal and Rum Nitty is booked, and Hitman and Mook is booked, and, you know, Big K and Tay-Rock went on another league, and Hollow the Don and Chef Tread. Like, it's so much shit going out. Y'all not fucking with Easy no more. Y'all not fucking with Ill Will, Big K, Bill Collector, all these battlers that y'all aren't booking. You started to run out of known matchups from people that are URL artists. Ave and Twork are URL. You started to run out of a matchup that the culture would look at and be like, this is a typical known battle. Ave and Twork is a typical known battle. So now you wanted to spin the block, and come to find out somebody else was trying to do that battle. So I'm not saying you don't have a leg to try to block it, because clearly Twork is the issue. Twork is the fucking issue. Twork is the nigga that didn't do the battle, and I'm pretty sure he never returned the deposits. Why the fuck is he gonna return the deposit? Nigga don't be returning shit. So he still got money out on this battle. And that gives you a little bit of a leg to stand on to go to TBL and be like, yo, we paid for the battle, we still got money out on the battle. Because y'all done gave Ave his front end and back end, and clearly y'all gonna have to pay him again in order to do the battle. So if you gotta pay him again in order to do a third battle, or finally do a battle with Twork, y'all don't really have an open contract with Ave no more, because you would have to re-give him money, and y'all ain't re-gave him money yet for that battle. So the money that's holding this up is really on Twork. He got a deposit and a shot up car and never showed up. So he the one who really hasn't fulfilled his end of the bargain and still got money out there. But my thing is, let me give y'all some advice, URL. You might not take this. every battle is not worth fighting. Every battle is not worth fighting. Y'all are 1 week away from Gnome. Y'all are on Angry Fans Live. Let's keep it real. Y'all don't really fuck with Angry Fans. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it real. Like y'all don't even like none of the bloggers. Like damn near none of them not named Jay Black and maybe 3 Letterman. Y'all don't really like none of the bloggers, bro. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you did an emergency live with Caps shows just how much you're trying to get in front of this story. The story never had to be a story. The culture wasn't really asking for Twork and Ave like that. If you would have never, y'all would have never booked that battle, nobody would have been breathing down y'all neck. This is not Murder Mook and Hitman. This is not some battle that everybody won in the culture. This ain't Daylight and Lux. So let TBL have the battle. Every battle, you don't gotta win. You gotta take a little bit of loss so you can win later. Cause you done all of this, and then what happens? Y'all start blocking the battle, right? Y'all start doing this, blocking the battle, want to bring the battle to URL, but want to pay less money than what TBL is paying. So now they don't even want to do the battle on URL. All this stuff, it starts leaking to bloggers. People telling bloggers about it. Putting little tidbits out on the internet like, yo, I'm tired of these niggas, and Hitman putting stuff out like, oh, when y'all find out what happened in this culture, you know, it's gonna be crazy, and all these little nuggets. Then a blogger does a blog about it, right? Get shit started. Don't do a blog about it. Boom. I do a blog. Angry Fan do a blog. Piperboy might do a blog. Dedication TV do a blog. Angry Fan do a blog. Av going to space. Hitman is in there talking about this. You got to go on Angry Fan Live and clean it up. It all for Twork, who sometimes don't have 3 rounds, and Av, who's not a promoter. It wasn't a battle worth all of this. That's why you gotta realize what battles are worth fighting for. This wasn't really worth fighting for. I would've just gave TBL this shit. Like, you wanna book it, you wanna pay them more money, and that's another thing. Y'all not paying more money for the battle or matching TBL's money from what I'm hearing, which I don't understand that either. When the battle was originally booked, it was booked on a volume. This is trying to be put on a Gnome. You gotta pay more money. It's a pay-per-view, you gotta pay more money. And it's a bigger pay-per-view than volume. So, if you're not gonna match the money, then let niggas eat. Like, oh, well, you know, they want to pay Av $15,000. We want to pay him $10,000. I'm not gonna block the battle. I'm just gonna let him go get his extra $5,000. Because now you're gonna get a disgruntled Av and a disgruntled Twork, and you're gonna do the battle, and niggas might spend half a round going at y'all niggas. Av is talking like he not gonna even do the battle now. He's talking about it's gonna be more money if it's not on. It has to be a YouTube release. If it's not a YouTube release, he gonna need a way bigger bag. All this is extra drama. Now niggas may not even give you a good battle just out of spite. Might just go in and take your money. Might be like, just take the money. We're just gonna do some shit, spend half a round arguing with these niggas, and do that. Spin around, dedicate a round towards smack. None of this was really worth it, bro. Not for this battle. You know what I'm saying? Like none of this is working. Like, this battle was like blocking, so I don't even know, like blocking like Rum Nitty versus Jada Nightwing. Like, okay, you block the battle because Jada Nightwing is trying to be booked. And it's just like, bro, nobody was asking for Rum Nitty and Jada Nightwing. It's a cool battle. It's a good battle. I like it on Gnome. It's not a battle worth all of this for, like, worth blocking. If somebody would have booked Jada Nightwing and Rum Nitty, and y'all would have felt like, oh, Jada Nightwing, we got some business with, let them do the battle. Because the drama is not worth the draw. You have to repair your image with the fans, bro. They already own you about Gnome. I'm trying to help Gnome because I actually ain't got a problem with Gnome. But they own you about Gnome. This right here doesn't necessarily help. And you need support for the pay-per-view, and you need support for the card. You don't need this going on 6 days before your card. It ain't worth it. It's not worth it. That's why y'all have to be. Oh, to tell you how much they trying to get in front of this story, bro. Niggas did a 48-minute live with Caps in a car, bro. First of all, in order to do a live, that means everybody got to be quiet. That means Smack is driving. He can't turn the radio on or nothing. He's shutting the fuck up. They got somebody in the back seat they done picked up, quiet as fuck. And Beasley talking for, bro, if I was riding in the car and the nigga was on a live for 48 minutes, I'd be like, yo, wrap this shit up. They trying to get in front of this story so much. You did a 48-minute live to try to clean up this story. It's not fucking worth it. Ave ain't worth it. Not Ave. I don't got no Ave ain't worth this shit. I gotta keep it real. He ain't worth this shit. Try to fix this stuff with Ave. It's just not worth it, bro. It's not worth it at all. And outside of just maybe having a little hung up money with Twork, I don't really agree with y'all stance. I don't agree with paying less money for the battle. I gotta be honest. I don't agree with not booking a battle for 4 years. I don't agree with that. Don't give me no, oh, we just figured we'll do some other shit. Bro, you didn't want to do the battle. You didn't gave this nigga Woosah, Don Marino. You ain't trying to book Twork. You were not trying to book Ave and Twork. And another thing too, Twork got a couple battles y'all haven't done. You know what I'm saying? You know, he got an A-War battle out there. I know they ain't y'all, but he got an A-War battle out there that I don't know why TBL ain't doing that battle. They moved straight to Ave. They got a A-War battle out there. What about Jerry West? Jerry West and Twork was supposed to go down in New Orleans. Twork had to go home. Something was going on with his family, his dogs, or some shit was going on. He leaves New Orleans, leaves Anwar and Rita in New Orleans, goes back home. He doesn't do the Jerry West battle. Jerry West battle never got rebooked. You could have put Twork and Jerry West on Gnome, and I'd have been totally comfortable with it. I actually would have liked the battle better than Ave. Keep it real with you. You could have put Twork and Jerry West on Gnome. That's a battle that's already booked also. But look how long it's been since y'all made that battle up. So what if Jerry West was like, I ain't trying to do that battle no more. Bro, you think you just hold an open contract for years? Book the battle. I don't. First of all, I don't know how Caps even let that slide. I think he did mention a little, but he should have went in a little bit more. You just can't hold no battle like that for no long. Like I don't even know if that shit is even still honorable after 4 or 5 years. I had to read the fine print. How the hell you put a battle out and don't do the battle, and what, it's supposed to be an infinite contract? You supposed to just hold it over my head forever? No, book the battle. Book the battle, bro. And my price is not yesterday's price anymore. I am number 2 on Wody. I am better than I ever been. And I'm not taking the same price, and you trying to put it on Gnome and Summer Madness. So I don't even know if they're going to do the battle. They're not even interested in doing a battle on URL. Neither one of them, from what I hear. I'm not saying they won't do it. They might do it just to clear the business. But now you get disgruntled, maybe not give a fuck, maybe not care, whatever, feeling some type of way. You don't really need that, bro. Let it go. Every battle ain't worth fighting. That's why some of this, honestly, is still to slow down TBL. Niggas just booking everybody. They booking all the big battles, all of this. URL run out of matchups. Even if URL want a matchup, they can't book a matchup, because even if TBL ain't booking they niggas, the TBL booking half the niggas. Like, what if they want to do Rum Nitty versus somebody else? Can't do it because he battling Calico. What if they want to book Calico and somebody else? Can't do it because he battling Rum Nitty. Some of this is just taking away some of the people, and it's just slowing down. You got to be out of your mind if you think URL is just cool with what TBL is doing. I know they sat in that live talking about, man, salute to everybody. They doing this, they doing that. URL ain't never wanted no real competition. They wanted to monopolize battle rap. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad, because a lot of businesses want to monopolize situations. You know what I'm saying? You know, Amazon is trying to put Walmart out of business. Everybody's trying to monopolize. So don't act like you're just cool. You were talking to Hitman. Don't act like you cool with TBL booking Hitman and Mook. I mean, you might be a little cool with it because it was a little far-fetched that you could book it. Twork and Ave ain't far-fetched. Calico and Rum Nitty ain't far-fetched. You can't be happy these battles are being booked. Why would you be happy? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been proven with RBE that y'all not happy with that stuff. ARP never did nothing to y'all personally. Y'all didn't know him personally. Came in a battle rap and started booking battles. So y'all just personally didn't like, because he was stepping on y'all toes, and these leagues are also stepping on y'all toes as well. You know what I'm saying? So if you go by history, y'all have never liked it. Never liked it at the end of the day. Y'all just tolerated because Chilla Jones was Cody at one point in time and battling on y'all league and shit like that. Eventually, it's going to be fuck Chilla. Y'all going to get tired of Chilla too. Big Cannon was battling on y'all platform on a regular. When Guerrilla Warfare bubbled up, and they started booking the Surfs, the Verbs, the Math Hoffers, the Big K's, all these niggas. Next thing you know, Big Cannon can't get no more URL battles. Y'all do find a way to weed out competition. This is nothing new. And this Ave, this Twork, and Rum Nitty, true, y'all do have an old ass contract on it. But the battle ain't really worth it, man. It ain't really worth it at the end of the day. So that's just my thoughts. That's just my thoughts. Chris, I'm biased. Let me know. Holla at your boy.